There is a quiet moment on every airplane, just before takeoff, when the engines begin to roar and the body remembers gravity. A man grips the armrest. His breathing shortens. He imagines metal tearing through clouds, thousands of meters above Earth, held only by faith in strangers he has never met. 2 days later, he drives home in heavy rain, one hand on the steering wheel, the other adjusting music. His mind is calm. The statistics disagree with his fear. The sky is safer than the road. But statistics are not what frighten him. In the car, he believes he is in control. On the plane, he must surrender. This is the first lie we tell ourselves to survive, that control equals safety. The brain prefers a manageable danger over a helpless security. It does not measure risk in numbers. It measures it in agency. To feel in control is to feel alive, even if the control is imaginary, and so we choose the illusion. A fox once leaped toward a cluster of grapes hanging from a vine. He jumped again and again. Each time he fell short. Finally, he turned away and muttered that the grapes were probably sour. We have repeated that sentence in 1,000 modern forms. The promotion we didn't receive was political anyway. The person who rejected us wasn't that attractive. The opportunity that slipped away wasn't aligned. When reality wounds our identity, the mind edits the script. Inside the brain, tension sparks when who we believe we are collides with what has happened. This tension is uncomfortable, like static between two wires. Instead of changing ourselves, we often change the story. It is easier to say the grapes were sour than to admit we could not reach them. Self-deception becomes anesthesia for disappointment. But anesthesia, while numbing pain, also numbs growth. There is another peak in human psychology, a dangerous one. It is not wisdom, it is overconfidence. The less someone understands, the simpler the world appears. Complexity is invisible from the valley of ignorance. From there, certainty feels natural. Only when knowledge expands does doubt appear. Real expertise brings hesitation, nuance, probability. The fool speaks loudly because he sees straight lines. The expert speaks carefully because she sees intersections. We lie to ourselves again, this time not to avoid pain, but to preserve pride. I already understand, the mind whispers. And so it stops learning. In love, self-deception becomes more intimate. A woman fears abandonment. The fear is quiet at first, like a draft under a door. She begins to look for signs. A delayed message, a distracted tone. She asks questions that sound like accusations. She withdraws to protect herself from a goodbye that has not yet come. Her partner feels mistrusted, misjudged, tired of defending invisible crimes. Distance grows. The relationship collapses, not from betrayal, but from anticipation of betrayal. The prophecy fulfills itself. Fear, when rehearsed often enough, becomes behavior. Behavior becomes reaction. Reaction becomes evidence. We do not just predict our future, we participate in writing it. Conflict in everyday life hides another subtle lie. When we are late, it is because of traffic. When someone else is late, it is because they are careless. We forgive our circumstances and judge their character. It feels fair because we know our full story, our stress, our fatigue, our intentions. We see only fragments of theirs. The brain simplifies others into traits to conserve effort. Irresponsible, selfish, cold. Certainty is efficient. Empathy is expensive, and so we choose efficiency. Even memory betrays us gently. You think you remember your childhood, a kitchen filled with light, a voice calling your name. A summer afternoon that felt endless. But each time you revisit it, the memory shifts. Details rearrange themselves. Emotions grow sharper or softer. Scenes merge. The brain is not a camera. It is a storyteller. It edits for coherence. It adjusts for meaning. It smooths contradictions so that the person you are today makes sense of the person you were. Sometimes this is mercy. Sometimes it is distortion. But always, it is reconstruction. We lie not because we are dishonest, but because we require narrative stability. And then there is the comfort zone. We imagine it as warmth, safety, peace, but often it is simply familiar discomfort. A job that drains us but pays predictably. A relationship that no longer grows but no longer shocks. A routine that feels empty but stable. The unknown carries uncertainty. Uncertainty carries anxiety. And anxiety signals danger, even when growth waits on the other side. The brain chooses predictable dissatisfaction over unpredictable possibility. It tells us we are safe, but sometimes safety is just stagnation that does not hurt enough yet. So why do we lie to ourselves? Because raw reality is heavy. We lie to feel in control. We lie to protect identity. We lie to preserve relationships. We lie to maintain coherence. We lie to reduce fear. Self-deception is not weakness. It is psychological architecture. Without it, the mind would fracture under contradiction, randomness, and vulnerability. But there is a difference between using illusion as a bridge and living inside it as a home. Survival may require some illusion. Growth requires noticing it. And perhaps the quietest sign of maturity is this: the moment you catch yourself rewriting the story, and choose gently to face the unedited version instead.